Alright, so we're going to be talking about predicate logic. This is the introduction to predicate logic for me on this channel. I have a ton of videos on sentential logic, which is a much less complicated form of logic, but here we're going to talk about, we're going to introduce the idea of a predicate and an individual and quantifiers. So that kind of changes things for you in logic if you are not used to like sentential logic, where in sentential logic we would just have like something like this. This is kind of the Aristotelian disjunction or whatever. No, it's the cat jumped on the thing. Okay, this is basically what you would have in sentential logic. Is be A, if and only if B, then C, stuff like that. Where things are different with predicate logic. You can't just have one letter and have it mean something. You have to have a predicate where you have predicate logic was, basically brought into play by Frege and some other mathematicians. Well, Frege was more of a logician. There was Frege, and there was Russell, and then there was a lot of other mathematicians who kind of brought predicate logic into play. Frege kind of changed things when it came to logic. It was basically the Aristotelian Aristotelian syllogism the whole time until Frege sort of changed things. And then we have the idea of a predicate. So what is meant by Tx? X is a lowercase letter, and that means that X is a individual. T is a uppercase letter, and that means it is a predicate. So let's say let's say I am a X. I am a individual. I'm a X. I'm a X, and I happen to like tofu. So you could say X is a tofu X is a tofu lover. You could say that about this. That's kind of stupid, but that's kind of very simple. It's basically when you say TX or one of these other two, you're saying something about the individuals, and the predicate is basically what is characterizing such a individual. So if we have TXY, basically it's that X and Y are related in terms of T, or X, Y, and Z are related in terms of T. When it comes to TXY, it could mean that X and Y are both tofu lovers. And usually when you have three individuals, you're talking about that, when it comes to, you could be like ordering them, like having them in a certain order. Is that X likes tofu, but Y likes tofu more, and Z likes tofu the most. You could have something like that, so you can see what these predicates are doing. So I plan on doing more things, a lot more explanation, but I just kind of want to introduce this sort of thing here. Probably we'll do things on the board inside there, in the other room. So on to quantifiers. Quantifiers change things big time, because basically in sentential logic we didn't have that. We didn't have the ability to quantify it in something. We didn't have the ability, given A or B, we didn't have the ability to just say that there is a certain individual such that A, or it is always the case for a certain individual that A. So basically this backwards E is the existential quantifier, and that can mean a lot of different things. When we have something like this, when we have something like that, I guess it's very, very simple. That could be saying there is an x such that a. That's basically the bare bones logical way of saying that. The existential quantifier is saying that there exists an, there exists one, or there exists some. So there exists one or some or an or a few x's such that a. Let's say that a means that a certain individual likes apples. Let's say that there are some individuals, or that there are, or that there is, or that there exists some individuals who like apples. So basically, the existential quantifier is saying that about a certain individual, that there exists a certain individual, that there exists a certain individual such that the following. Now, the universal quantifier, which is this upside down a, basically whenever you see that, it means always. So if you see something like this, sorry, I meant those to be y's. When you see universal quantifier y, that means that it's always the case for y that y likes apples and y likes beer. Now those are very simple. You can say a lot of things with just one little thing, with one little sentence. You can say a lot of things. However, basically the examples I'm giving you are very simple and small, so that you can kind of get a little bit of a grasp of this. But whenever you see this, that means always, or it is always the case that, or in the whole universe, every individual is as follows. So here's a few. Okay, I also meant to have the equal sign. The equal sign does come into play in predicate logic, because we can have a few individuals, we can sort of try to make a statement that they are equated with each other, or that a certain individual is equated with itself. And also we're going to have the same symbols we had before. So I wrote down a few things to sort of get down, to sort of explain this a little more. Of course, this means it is always the case for x that x is not a t, or that it's always the case for x that if x is not t, then x is not y. So that could be that it is always the case for x that if x is not tall, then x is not yellow. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, later I'm planning on doing things with more effort and trying to show how to translate between English and this and stuff like that. But this is just a intro, and I'm kind of not putting too much effort into this at this point to sort of I guess to sort of I just want to get down to the general idea of this. So if this, of course, means there is an x and a y such that if x and y are not a, if and only if x and y are b. So you can kind of read those and sort of get it. Normally with the equal sign, you won't just see that. You won't just see it is always the case for x and y that x and y are equal. Normally you will not see that. You will see an equal sign where two individuals are being equated with each other among a lot of other different things, among a lot of other different predicates and connectives. So I'm not going to really talk about these two. You can kind of look at that, and if you have questions, if you want me to sort of talk about things a little bit more before I get into the thick of translations and stuff like that, then please let me know.